What's up, everybody? Live stream everything about Autel Evo 2 today, and hopefully, I'm gonna have a special guest later on tonight. And what's up, AZ Drone? Arizona Drone Dude is in the house. So today we'll be talking about everything that I've learned, everything that I've done, tried. At the same time, we also have my new video that just came up, which is the mission mode. So we get Uncle DK808. What's up, bro? How you doing? And Nathan, what's up, Nathan? Ken Steele, what's up, Ken Steele? I was hoping maybe we're going to see Hot Rod Daytona later on too. He's been helping me out a lot lately, trying to get things done with this Autel Evo 2. I hope you guys can hear me good. If you guys can, give me a thumbs up. Any news on an Autel controller? Autel controllers are pretty much out of stock. $250, pretty much out of stock as far as I've seen it. And I'm hoping. Hey, there's the hot rod. So far, I don't think they have any in stock, especially not. I don't know why, since it's still the same controller as the Evo 1, but yeah. I got in touch with somebody, or somebody got in touch with me actually to review a really nice bracket for this, and it's in the mail as we speak. Hopefully, that will be able to push up that video really quick, and it's going to be pretty much like a alternative to the lift door mounting part to mount your phone, your tablets, or whatever. And it's way lighter than a lift door, so stay tuned for that one definitely. And like I said, my mission mode video just went up too. It went live at the same time as I would go live over here. And we get Kaipo. What's up, Kaipo? How you doing? Does that bracket hold an iPad Pro? Yes, it holds iPad Pro. It holds any tablet, for a matter of fact, because it's like a universal clip-in for all kinds of things. It's going to show up in that bracket. You're gonna see everything once the video goes live. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Autel Evo 2, what I've learned so far. Well, I have learned a lot actually ever since I got this bird. First of all, that I've learned is that it is an awesome bird. Um, I do a lot of pre-flight check, all kinds of good stuff that comes up with. Did my registration and all that stuff. I just had issues with the sticker because these arms, for some reason, are coated with something, and my sticker kept coming off. So I probably have to wrap it with clear wrap all the way around that arm, and hopefully that the registration number stays on it. I made some nice stickers. I designed some nice stickers that are actually going to be going on the top, and I recommend for you guys do the same thing. The sticker is pretty much, it's a common Aloha message that tells everybody a phone number of mine. If you find me, this is my phone number. Please call me. I was not spying on you. I was just videotaping your beautiful landscape or whatever is surrounding you. And let's hope that works. I'm gonna put it on the top over here, just in case this bird ever goes down somewhere where I didn't want it to go down and somebody else finds it before me. And that way, they hopefully will be able to send it back to me. Alrighty, who else we got here? We got JR, what's up, JR? And we have Adam Johnson, what's up? And Michael Ara, hi, buddy. We get Jaron Hathaway. Jaron, I just seen you yesterday in the chat, I think with Original Doubles chat. Are the new props feeling? The new props are feeling great. I have not changed out these props ever since I got them. I haven't had any issues with it. There's no problems, and yeah, the arms feel pretty solid too over here, especially on this. This is the part that everybody has to watch out for. It's like this part right here. That's the part that is like kind of like getting loose. I still haven't understood why they never created an entire solid arm where you don't have any of this clipping on stuff, where it's one arm and you just fiddle the wire through, push the wire through, and put it in there. So yeah, with that being said, batteries at first. So batteries are also, like I told a lot of guys, they're also your ammo pack in case you run low on battery on your phone, whatever. You're going to be able to clip in your charger in the bottom, and with the other end, there's a USB stick, and you just plug in the USB and you're going to be able to charge your phone. Another thing that I recommend for everybody is when you go into your settings, you're going to be able to see on the general settings for your battery life and stuff, when is the discharge time. Set it to 10 days if you intend not to fly longer than 10 days. Let the batteries discharge to a comfortable level. Don't store them charged all the time. So if you know that tomorrow you will be going out for a shoot, you have something that is coming up, then charge them up all at once so you have it there. If you plan on not doing nothing for probably about a month, whatever, just set it up to like, I don't know, like 10 days, and boom, from there you can go and have it discharged to a comfortable level, because otherwise I believe these batteries might have issues. So far I haven't had any. I got already 477 flights on this bad boy, and I totally love it. So you have the Autel rugged bundle case, or the other case I heard they have two cases. One case is way bigger with a bottom compartment. Yes, I do. It's called the GPC case. So that GPC case is way bigger. I don't know. Oh, let me make room. Way bigger than the case that comes with the Autel, and it has the top part compartment right here, which is this one right here. It fits your drone. It fits your 3 batteries extra. The other batteries, the 4th battery stays inside of your drone. You fit your controller right inside here. And there is, oh, I don't want to put it there, a bottom compartment. And that bottom compartment is all the way in the bottom over here. And it's actually mounted. So I can't pull it out. So I'll just show it to you like this. It has everything in there, like your paperwork. I get some extra propellers right there. I don't really have that many accessories, but this would fit your pad, your iPad, or your tablet. You could probably put the antenna stuff, the Kitty Hawk, whatever, extra things inside there, extra wires, and all the good stuff that you can put in there. And I totally love it. It's a super solid quality, and it is way bigger than the regular case. It's probably a quarter size bigger, because the other one is like here. What I like about this one is if you do go for travel, you have these clips right here, right over here. You can actually, you're going to be able to put locks on it, and they're like metal reinforced. Plus, the whole case has like a rubber ring around it, and it is supposed to be waterproof. I do not intend to test that out anytime soon, but in case this thing goes ever down somewhere, falls overboard, whatever, it's supposed to be able to float because it's waterproof. So what else do we have? Love that case. Yes, me too. I totally love that case. I take it wherever I go. I put it in the back of my truck. I do whatever. My pig is yelling at me right now. So does this case now come with the rugged bundle, or is this separate? I'm not sure. Like mine's one came with from DroneWorks, and it was offered as the GPC case from them. And the other one is a rugged bundle. I think it's from Amazon. That rugged bundle comes with the regular one that comes from Autel. So you have to specify first which rugged bundle or which case the rugged bundle includes. So looking for the GPC case, if it has the blue foam, then you should go with that, especially if it has it in the pictures and you look at it. And if it goes through the pictures and you see it there, then hey, go for it, definitely. So the GPC case, I can't grumble about it. It's totally nice. It has super nice storage. It fits all those small things inside there, such as the ND filters, extras, and all that stuff. And the cool part is I put it in the back of my truck, open up the hatch, and I just put it on top of that, open it up, and I just leave it. And I just walk around close to the case, and I fly my drone, whatever. And then if I don't need it, I'll just store it. I put it underneath the bench, leave it there, hoping that nobody's going to break into my truck and steal the rest. Yeah. So, but usually I see everything that is going on. You could throw a Mavic Mini in the bottom of that thing. Probably. That's if a DJI drone would be helpful for me over here in Hawaii. How much it cost you with tax? I paid a total, including 3 extra batteries. Well, it's actually I bought 2 extra batteries because the rugged bundle comes with the drone battery, 1 battery in a drone and 1 battery extra already with the case. So I purchased 2 extra batteries on top of that, together with the release time, which was $2,000, and then the 2 batteries on top. So it came out like 2,500 something, including tax, because each of these batteries, they're on like $220. So, but they're well worth it. If I have it like this and I have these 4 batteries charged up, I'm flying easy over 2 hours, easy. And I have a charger. I have a mobile battery that has a converter on it, so I can plug in all my things and I can do whatever I need to do. And dude, I charging out batteries left and right. I wait usually 15 minutes between the flights to have to make sure that the batteries are not hot when I try to charge them, so they don't overheat. And yeah, hey man, love it. 4 batteries, $2,500. Buy it from DroneWorks to be sure you get the GPC case. Great case, same price as the stand. Yes, it is. It's an awesome, awesome, awesome case. I really love it. Other tips and tricks that I learned with this drone is pretty much take it slow. Like, yeah, you have the ludicrous mode. You can go 45 miles an hour and all that stuff. In my eyes, that's still too much. Like, to get decent, good footage that you're going to be able to use for your stock footage to sell, whatever, black box it, whatever it is, you don't want to go too fast like all the time, and you want to line up your shots. And if you put this bad boy into precision mode and you turn off the obstacle avoidance, you keep a line of sight wherever you want to fly, and you go like super slow. And if you are close to an object, you go ×2, ×4. My dog is messing with my pig right now. I'll be right back. Give me 1 minute. Sorry about that. My pig was fighting with its cage. Actually, with the door. Let's see. What else do we have here? Standard rugged. Do you fly FPV? No, I haven't gotten into FPV yet. I tried to bring it close somehow to my wife to tell her that I'm interested in FPV, but then she's seen the prices and it's a no-go for now. I got a battery today with 2 props for 205 with tax. What? Wait, 2 props? Oh, 1 battery and 2 props. Okay, that's a good deal. $205. That's good. That's really good. Do you need a 107 just to upload videos on YouTube? No, you don't. You can be a recreational flyer, and as long as you abide by the laws of the FAA, which in the United States is 400 feet, many other countries have that too, 400 feet. Make sure you're aware of all your surroundings. Download apps such as, I think there's Kitty Hawk app, there's Air Map, there's Before You Fly app. They're all going to show you certain areas you're not supposed to be flying, where it is restricted airspace, where you have Class D airspace, how you can inquire permission from certain areas and all that stuff. You don't necessarily need to have a 107 in order to upload anything to YouTube. I mean, nobody needs a license to carry a phone and take a video and then upload it to YouTube, right? So with this being said, fly your drone, make beautiful footage, and you can upload it as long as it doesn't violate anything. I seen the other day a live stream of somebody who actually was flying around an area where there was a fire, and it was based on a port. It was, I think it was a fire on a transport ship, and it looked great. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's awesome, but you could hear in his voice that he was pretty much like focused on getting that footage. Don't be that guy, because you are that guy. You're gonna mess it up for all these other guys who want to fly, because the FAA is gonna look at this kind of stuff and say, "Hey, these guys don't learn," because you're not a. First of all, you're not allowed to fly around ports without permission. Second of all, it's an emergency area. So now, if you're up there 400 feet up in the air, there's an emergency vehicle coming through the air to either evacuate, kill the fire, whatever it is, even a police helicopter or even a news helicopter who's going to come around there. Those are all manned vehicles, and you have to abide by all those laws. If you take that helicopter out, you're going to jump into a orange jumpsuit to match your drone for the rest of your life, because the feds are going to take that very seriously if they figure out that it was you. So be careful about that. Make sure that you don't fly over people, hover over cars, and that it's a safe area where you fly, that you don't lose line of sight, and that you stay below the 400 feet. And make sure that this airspace that you're flying at is actually valuable for you to fly and permittable, so that you actually have permission to fly there. So that would be the best part. That's what I would tell you in general. Don't be that guy. Always be aware of what you do. It's not required to upload videos. Yes, only if you want to make money off the videos do you need the 107. Yes and no. Like, you can upload stock footage, and it will be purchased, and nobody asks you for a 107. The 107 is pretty much for commercial, if you are getting hired through somebody else who says, oh, look at the roof for me, look at the property survey for me, create a 3D map, whatever, do something with the drone, and you get paid for it via PIPA or whatever. Now with the stock footage and stuff, you upload stock footage, and let's say it's like 10 feet and you're actually using the drone to fly low and go to a certain area, like flying over a river. Nobody can really tell that it's going to be drone footage, because you could be also on a small canoe holding up a camera with a gimbal and going over it and following it. So it will be hard to prove for those guys with stock footage to prove that, hey, this guy was not supposed to be there. Stock footage wise, I think you don't need the 107. Now, commercial wise, if you get hired by somebody and you fly for somebody to look at certain things, then you're definitely going to need the 107. Could you make a second video with ND filter 4816 regular, not the PL? Yes, I actually doing a head talk video right now about the filters. It's almost done. It should be up within a couple of days. I just wanted to finish the mission video because I was on the mission video for a while, and then I got shut down really hard after I was done with it, and it kind of was a setback. So I will definitely gonna make an ND filter video just for you guys. It will show pretty much like the non-variable filters, because the PL filters, I barely use them because I have to always take them off in order for switch location, put the gimbal cover back on, because they just don't fit. And on the other hand, the other day I took a PL filter, the ND8, and I didn't check the rotation on it. So I flew it up and it was like, I don't know, the settings was totally off, and the way the light came in there, I had like light rays shooting through into the lens, making the footage kind of like, what the hell is going on? So I brought it back down. I just put the non-variable filter on the ND8, boom, flew it up, had no problems, could adjust my manual settings. So that was really good. But hey, man, ND filters is a must for this thing. So that's another tip and trick. If you look into it, I know there are nowadays $20 filters, I think, available somewhere on Amazon. Sometimes Amazon is out of stock, and that's because the demand is so big right now. And I think Freewell is not keeping up on distributing fast enough. So I don't know who distributes for Amazon or who it is, but DroneWorks has filters. They have the whole set for it. And when you purchase those, be careful that you make sure you buy the ones for the 6K and the 8K, because the 8K, they look different. And I think a couple guys on Facebook groups are seeing they got already the wrong ones shipped to them. So do you feel as if the ND filters are giving you a better quality of video? Yes, they do. The reason for that is because if you want to film without the ND filters, you're going to play around too much with the shutter speed. The shutter speed is going to be determining for you if your video going to be fluid or not. So if you stay on 24 FPS and you fly with a shutter speed 1 over 320, you're going to have these stutters in there. And they're going to be noticeable, especially if you try to create stock footage. And sometimes on like Adobe stock and all those guys, you're not going to be able to distribute any of that stuff because they're not going to allow the footage, because they say there's jitters, there's artifacts, there's something in there that they don't want. So they're not going to allow it. So now with the ND filters, definitely for me, it made a huge impact because of light and all that stuff. This camera is very sensitive. And even with the higher aperture and all that stuff, you still have the stutters in there. So with the ND filters, it gives you way more leeway to fly against the sun, with the sun, or having not as bright of an image and having less on the shutter speed to keep the shutter speed twice as much as the FPS. So 24 FPS is 1 over 50, and 30 FPS would be 1 over 60, and so forth. So that's what you want to do. 60 FPS, you want to be 1 over 120, and so forth. And that's pretty much where these ND filters kick in really good. And that's where the quality of the video comes in really handy. Besides you flying and besides you using the camera motion. Yeah. ND filters help in many ways, but most people use them for motion blur and long exposure. That too, that does, yeah, that's true. I was told the rule of thumb was if you're wanting to make money off the video, you should have the 107. That's partially true. Yes. If you want to, okay, let's say it that way. If you want the drone to pay for itself, you'll put the effort and time into to get a 107. It's not that hard, guys. It's really actually not that hard. There are a lot of good tutorials out there how to prepare yourself for a 107. And once you take the 107 and you put in the money for it, it's like $250 or something like that. to get your 107. With that, registrations and stuff is going to be awesome. Now, to say the least, I have a guest tonight, and that guest, actually, a couple people have seen it before, and it's the one, the only, the Dad Random.
Hey, how you doing? Everybody hear me okay? You hear me
Yeah,
okay?
great.
I got my other system working because this is just broadcasting is not gonna. This isn't gonna take much computer power. I was just having live stream trouble, so trying
Okay,
to get it fixed. So it's good. How you doing?
good, good. I'm very good. I just enjoyed your live stream, seeing your new FPV drone. I was asked in the chat earlier already if somebody had, if I would fly FPV. I don't. I don't. I know I seen it, and it looks great. And I seen you got the DJI goggles, you got the DJI remote, and hey man, you all set.
Set the brake stuff. I just think they're just cool, just like bug-eyed cool.
Yeah,
And
they look super cool.
I think the first kind of time you see something like that, you're like, God, that's stupid. And then you look at it a little longer and you're like, oh, that's different. And, you go through the progression and suddenly it's like, hey, that's actually pretty neat. Yeah. So somebody put their mind to that design, but yes, it doesn't mean I'm not flying GPS. It doesn't mean that. It just means
Right.
that I'm trying to do something new. And that's what I think happened is, in the GPS realm, I think I overdid it. I think I oversaturated my brain with it, and I got bored, and I just sold all my GPS drones except for my Mini, and I'm gonna buy a bunch of FPV drones and mess around a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So FPV, do you think it's better than GPS quads these days, or would it take over, or is GPS quads still a thing?
Oh no, they're different. So in like most of the people that do FPV flying are kind of, they're diehards, and I'm not a diehard. I'm the new generation of FPV pilots coming in, because I don't I'm going to need different things. Since I'm a traditionally a GPS pilot, I like that security. I like the hover security. And what's
What was your
happening?
first drone that you flew?
The first drone?
Your very first drone that
very
got you
first drone was one of those E-Sheen, one of those little E-Sheen things that flew like one time and then the props would fly off, and I don't even know what the little rectangle, they call them pocket drones. And I kept putting like new props on it, and then I'd break an arm off and crash it, and then I broke the body off, and then I replaced all the arms just for fun, and then I replaced just the props, so I was changing colors, and I'm like, hey, why am I wasting all my money on this stupid thing when I can get a better, a better drone? I thought of all the money I was spending on this junk, So, but you start somewhere, So that's what I think everybody does is they start on the little, they start with the non-GPS drone, then you go to the one with a little bit better altitude hold, a little bit bigger props, a little bit, little less, a little more heavy. And then I ended up with my first GPS drone, which was an X-21. And I still have it, and I can still fly it. The X-21.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So
what made you go to FPV?
Just change. I got it. I've already kind of done everything you can do with the GPS drones, and I've flown miles, and I've flown high, and I've flown really fun drones. I've taken great photos, and I'm still liking that. But what happened is I got stuck with the heat issue, because I can take an FPV drone out even when it's this hot and fly 3 or 4 minutes, and get video and still get my drone fix. So I think I needed something just different, and then something that was compatible with being in a hot climate. Now, you're still going to have battery issues. You can't take LiPo batteries and stick it out in 100 degrees. But that's kind of where I think everybody goes. You go through phases. The other thing is it looks fun. FPV just looks fun, and I want to have fun too. It's just kind of like that. I watch a video and somebody's flipping their drone around and flying upside down, and flying through, I think the challenge of flying through small spaces and, all those things are cool. And I think I can take the area that I live in right now, and I've got really high cliffs, and it's like begging for FPV pilots to come and to
Oh,
dive them.
cliff
Yeah,
diving, yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna learn it. And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna, hopefully not smash a drone on a cliff. So
I have the same thing over here in Hawaii where we get I have those waterfalls, and I always was dreaming about
yeah,
following that river and then going up and banking down in it, just
yeah,
waterfall
no,
dive.
yeah,
That the biggest issue I have with that, most waterfalls we have here are all state parks. You're not supposed to fly the damn
yeah,
thing there.
yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah, and that's exactly. That's the thing is I also have the same issue. The big mountain that I like to fly next to and onto, it's actually you have to look at the maps really close. So the borders of the state park. So the park actually cuts. If I look at you, it basically cuts an L out, and the mountain is down here. So I can fly up to the very top of it if I don't go too far forward, and then I can fly all the way down and be outside the park. So it's perfect. And I've been skirting the rules on that and just staying outside of the park, just and I get that beautiful ride up, and then I can get that awesome dive down. I'm like, gosh, this would be just awesome for an FPV flight to the top. And I saw a video the other day of somebody doing the same thing, but it was more of a gradual slope, and I can go from a parking lot, fly about 500, maybe 500 yards straight up. And then, of course, you've got all those different cracks and crevices, and I've got perfect line of sight with it. So it's just like the perfect place. So, anyways, I got that. I got other places scouted out too. So, but first, I got to learn how to fly and be um, somewhat conservative, so I don't like start spending money on drone parts yet.
so for other people not to spend money on drone parks, what is your tips and tricks that you would suggest to people who just start flying drones, who want to get into flying GPS quads and all that stuff? What would be the best part for
I
them to take care of first?
I would first of all, it depends on the amount of money you have to spend, but I've learned that it is fun to fly the toy drones. I mean, and the toy drones are getting better. That's the one thing. But it's getting there's such a fine line between a toy drone and, say, first really good drone you can buy, which is like a Spark or a Mavic Mini. If you can get your hands on a Spark, I would say that would be a great place to start. A DJI Spark, and it's not about being a DJI fanboy. It's about having a really good, solid, quality drone, and then not have to, in your first flights, have to worry about it, not working or a prop flying off, or I mean, the Spark is the most solid drone you can literally fly. Plus, it flies like an FPV drone. Has a 10-minute flight time. It's got a really nice camera on it. That to me would be like, if I was going to learn and start from scratch, my first drone if I would have known better, would have been a Spark or a Spark-like drone. Not a Mavic Mini. Mavic Mini's got takes a trick or two to fly it. It's not wind resistant, and and the Spark can power through wind, and the Mini can't. So if I'm a new drone pilot and I get myself a Spark, and I'm like, oh yes, I got to fly more combo. I got 4 back. I'm gonna go out for an hour and fly. I go to the coast and see the wind's blowing and the ocean is crashing, and of course, if I'm not paying attention, the wind, if it's flying, say it's blowing out, I'm on the wrong side of the island or wherever I'm at. Next thing you know, my drone just keeps flying and flying out, and I'm just flying as hard as I can, because it can only fly about maybe 18 to 20 miles an hour, and you got a nice stiff breeze, and you can watch your battery start to basically slowly fail, and you're like, no, and your drone's going nowhere. That's the worst feeling ever.
So
Like
at
that
some
story.
point you had an Autel Evo 2. I think you had the 8K, right? So what happened?
Yeah, love it. I love that drone. My plan was to get the 6K, and then my plans changed with the COVID thing that popped up. That kind of screwed everything up. I sat around a lot. Normally I just kind of, I'm working and I've got things going on, but when that hit, I'm just like sitting there going, okay, now what? And I kind of lost, and then Autel kind of put the skids on for a while. There was a lot of, I got cold feet. Not that it wasn't a good drone, because I took my Evo out everywhere I've taken DJI drones out. It's gone the exact same places. I never had one issue where I lost connection with it. I never had, in the best video I have, if you look on my site, my website, or my YouTube site, the best video I have of any drone that I own is my Autel Evo footage. Like I said, waterfalls, it just naturally picks up color, it has a really good, what I would say, out of the box setting. I don't know. Do you agree with that?
Yes,
You got the
yes, I do.
6K, yeah. So
Yes, I got the 6K, and I'm a total fan of it. I'm like an Autel fanboy, you can
yeah.
say. I'm not a big what you call it, DJI fanboy. But we have one guy over here. Anyway, can you ask Dad Random, what does he see future of drones? What features or app updates that will come?
As far as like drone features, I really don't see anything new. I don't see a new camera that would. I can see like multiple like cameras that like you on like on a for example a camera array like this. I can see just like the Parrot has. I think that we're yet to seeing that, and or a single lens that is rotating that allows you to have multiple exposures. I can see that one, or multiple focal depths. That's something I haven't seen yet. I was thinking that there might be a consumer level FLIR camera or heat sensor camera. I think that you could easily put something, because right now you can buy a sensor camera for a phone, a low level, FLIR, a FLIR brand camera for, a couple $100. So why can't you stick it on a drone, which, I'm
Yeah,
talking about a low end, not the high end FLIR cameras.
because the high
Uh,
end FLIR cameras right now, they're like what, 7 grand, 9 grand, five
right.
grand. I've seen it for all those things, but they make a
Well,
lot of money if you have a 107.
yeah, yeah. Because there's a lot of like building heat and cooling inspections. So you're looking for cool and heat. A lot of people don't know that. They think you're just looking for heat. Actually, you're looking for cold spots too. So yeah, and, any kind of a dangerous job where you don't have to go up on top of something, and with a really good quality camera. That's why I'm thinking that the Evo, it has such a long hover time. You literally can hover that thing for days. I only had one battery, and I never was disappointed on any of my flights. I flew until I was done, and it was 30 or 35 minutes or so. And I'm like, crap, man, I got nowhere else to go. I've been everywhere. I've been this site. That's the amazing thing about that, the flight time. So, but to get to, I think to really truly answer that question, what I really truly like, what I believe in my heart is going to happen, I think there's going to be a transition, an FPV GPS transition, because you got flyers on both sides. And I think there's actually a greater number of younger pilots that are flying GPS, and they want the experience of an FPV drone. So one that can do both purpose, so a dual purpose. And that's, everybody got excited about this long range drone that just came out. I can't remember the name. It was I can't remember the name of the company, but it's it's a drone that basically has about a 20 to almost 30-minute flight time if you have the right battery on it. And it has a 4-kilometer range. It has GPS on it in case you lose it. It can basically stabilize and return to home. All those things like you have in a toy drone, but you get to fly FPV. And that's I think a lot of people want both. And all you do is flip a switch. Flip it into stabilized mode. Next thing you know, you're in a GPS drone. I think the Spark was almost that drone. When I flew the Anafi, I got that feeling too. The only thing the Anafi missed was the real goggles, not the phone goggles, but the real ones. Put the the real VTX goggles. That would have been a really cool drone because it flies like FPV.
Yeah, Ricky Britton said he saw it for 18 minutes. That's
Yeah.
a long damn time, man.
Yeah, 18 minutes. Yeah, that's with the 6S battery. Yeah, he's right. Now, I'm trying to remember what that's the. I'm trying to
Oh,
think of it.
6S battery.
Yeah, I've got it on my phone here. I'll tell you the name of it. I keep it in my things to do list, but it might not be my next drone because it's a small one. I want a heavier drone. The next one, I want a 7-inch to 6-inch drone, which is more like the size of you equate it to the size of like a Nafi. So it's about the size of an Anafi with a lot more punch. You know, a real serious, powerful punch, and but like that you can do aerobatics with. You can flip upside down. That's the thing you can't do with almost all drones. You can't flip them, and people want to do that. They want to flip them, and you can do it with a toy, but you can't do it with $1,000 drone. So. To me, that's what people want. That's what
they don't want the $1,000 drop out of the sky. I think. If Adequate asks over here, what are Dad Random's thoughts on Evo having to be required to adapt to geofencing in the future with FAA?
That sucks. That's another thing that is bugging me right now. I'm afraid, and there's fear. That's also my decision. So as the COVID thing was going on, I told you I put a lot of thought into the direction I wanted to go, and I started to think about the FAA, and I'm like, this is blows, man. I don't want. And then when I was trying to fly my DJI Mini several times. It took me like 3 minutes. I had to stop my film. I had to go and get authorization to fly in my backyard. This is bullcrap. So I'm thinking you're going to have a lot more build and fly people, a lot more pirates out there flying because they're asking too much.
Yeah.
And most people, that's I think almost anybody that is on your channel right now is saying the same thing. Why don't they have a level of certification where you don't have to freaking take a super long test, more like the Canadian test, where there's a different level. But right now, everybody's afraid of that they're going to take the 400-foot ceiling away. Those kinds of things got me going. You know what? If I get a drone like this, okay, this is a sub 250 gram drone with battery, and there you go.
So now with the FPV being sub 250 grams and all that stuff, I mean, they can change those regulations too. But if you drop a GoPro on top of that and you fly with the FPV around to get better footage with GoPro,
you can't put you can't put a GoPro on this. If you do, you'd have to put a. I don't know. I'm sure somebody would do. This is they put the little what I'm trying to think of the little 180-degree camera. It's somebody said it was a 360 camera. It's not the Insta360. The Insta360 Go. It's not a 360 camera. It's only a half sphere camera. But a lot of people will mount that on here. So that camera is only this big. Oops, we get it up here, about this big. And it takes that really, really good stabilized video, just like a GoPro, but not quite. It's not 2K yet. It's still 1080. But what they're going to do is they'll notch it up because of battery issues. They suck a lot of energy. But I can see that. I can see a company like GoPro building a camera just for this drone. The small one, a compact one that you can mount on here with lightweight. All that I'm just saying. People have come to respect these things. If you saw how small the air unit is that's in here, it is tiny. And this one has a slot for a card, so it takes 1080p video. It's freaking great. I can record
aero imaging net. You need to be an astronaut to pass a 107 in Canada.
Yeah,
I don't really know the regulations in Canada, but I heard it's super strong. Like
but they have different levels of certifications. They have a 107, and then they have a hobbyist level, but I don't know what that restricts you to. It's like a hobbyist, but it's a small test, and you have a certification. And I don't know I don't know where the restrictions are. He might know. I've seen a couple of people. I haven't been on I haven't been on the what's his name, Canadian Drone Hub in a while. I need to get on there and talk to Roger. I haven't seen Roger in forever. I just been sidetracked, but that he could answer your question there on the 107 requirements. So, but yeah, it's Canadian Drone Hub. If you have not been there, it's a really good channel. It's in the morning. They do a lot of things like just chatting, just hanging out and chatting. A lot of that.
Yeah, we just have Flight Path drop in over here. What's up, Flight Path?
Oh,
he's a total DJI.
Yeah,
genius.
Yeah, and he's got a really smooth channel. He's got a huge fan base too.
Yep.
I'm just a hack. I'm gonna have fun only channel.
Me too. I have a lot of fun relaying all the information, all the experiences that I made.
808, I think you're definitely you've got a better path than I am. I'll be really strict, and I'll get really regimented on things, and then I'll just throw up a bunch of stuff, and I'll just like I don't even care today. I'm just gonna roll the camera and I'm just gonna do it. But some people like that, you know. I don't want to spend hours, you know, putting tutorials together. To me, that's just not fun. I would rather push you know, bamboo under my fingernails than do tutorials like that. I've done a couple, and I will, but I'd rather do flight experience videos. You know, this is what it's like to fly this thing. You know, this is what it took me to get it in the air. That's what I'm going to do with that. There's a lot of people doing those, and I think those are where you learn the most. And I've watched a couple of those. I've watched a couple of really good drone pilots, basically trying to teach, you know, FPV pilots trying to teach somebody that never flown one before. There's a learning curve, so it's
definitely. I see some guys flying for months at a time. Jason just said FlightPath just broke 200,000 while streaming. Yeah. Yes, I was there during that time. That's crazy. 200,000 subscribers.
Yeah, he does a good job. He's in a really pretty place. He can get to the coast.
Almost at 2,000.
Well, 808. There's no reason why you can't get 100 grand. You know, not even. You know, you got the perfect location. I've got a great location too. I'm not complaining. But people love that. People, you know, we love the Dustin Dunhill videos just because of that. I usually get disappointed when he does his range flights and there's no water anywhere, but you know. But
I don't know how he does it though, because there's like I don't know, when I look at his mapping, like I don't know where he's really at what point he flies, especially around the mountain area. But he has one area over there on the backside of Maui that super like empty. There's nothing. There's no flight restrictions, no nothing. There's like empty airspace, no helicopters, no nothing. Over here where I'm living, I have helicopters. Right now, COVID-19 is the best thing that happened to me, technically seen, based on that there's no helicopter flights. So I'm like out in the air by myself. I don't have no helicopters. Usually we have touring helicopters every 2 minutes going through, and it's crazy, man. It's really crazy.
Yeah, and that like you're saying, that's another whole. We have a helicopter. We do have helicopter tours where I'm at that go through Zion Canyon, but it's the opposite direction from where I live. It's the total opposite. Nobody flies my way except on Saturday or Sunday. I have new pilots that are training. Sometimes they get a little bit low, and they're sightseeing, and that's what bugs me is I do all this stuff to, and then you get people with actual pilots. Because I know drone pilots are considered to be pilots, but if you're not risking your life and sitting in a seat, you're not
really a pilot, right?
I hardly consider myself a pilot.
Flightpath just said, "Yeah, thanks, man," on the 200K, but in his mind, he's still at 2,000. To be honest, based on the quality of your channel, brother, you deserve 2 million because you bring so much value to the viewers itself. So I see you already at like 500,000 in like no time.
I just gotta tone it down sometimes because everybody gets uptight, and I skirt the rules sometimes, and I'm definitely thinking about that, and I'm thinking about the future of people doing what we do, and I've actually put a lot of thought into what you actually need to do when you have a new drone, as far as want testing out whatever its range is. I mean, quite honestly, you don't have to go much further than what anybody already does right now. If you get a 2 kilometers or a kilometer out there, and you've got a good desolate area, and you kind of already proved your point. And to go, and I get to the point where, and I think this on my last range flight that I did, I kind of thought about, like, why am I even out here? I don't need to do this. I know this drone can do this. I kind of like, I'm like, I could have went half the distance and got the same result, So, but I love the views that you get when you're flying. I mean, it's some beautiful views.
If you go like so far out, I don't know. When I
Yeah.
see like 18,000 feet, I was like, that's 18,000 feet I would have to walk to pick that
Yes.
sucker up.
Yeah. And you have to do it. I mean, I've got a trick though. I've got some tricks to what I do, and I've got some locations that I fly that I know how to get to them from the other side. So if I did drop it at 20,000, 22,000 feet away, it would be sitting on a motorcycle trail, which I know exactly where it is. I can drive all the way parallel to it, and then take about a mile or 2 mile walk, and I would find it with the GPS in like 2 seconds. But I don't plan on doing any more of those kinds of flights. I want to get into the short stuff. I want to get into more of the aerobatic stuff. I want to play with rocks, and I want to do some fun stuff. And I'm sick of the criticism. So I just kind of I'm gonna keep it cool. So that's
So
it. You
MM
guys,
Tech just asked if we think that the Evo 2 Pro is worth the dollars because of the no geofencing. In my
yeah,
eyes, yeah,
yeah, but
definitely.
but couldn't they geofence it? If they wanted to. That's the thing. I'm just wondering, they could put they could put a software update into it. But yeah,
Well,
I'm
the
with you
last
on that.
2.50 did that already. So
Yeah,
you
it did.
have it tells you there's a flight restricted area. You're still
Okay.
going to be able to take off,
Yeah.
but you can't go over 80 feet. So as soon as
Ah,
you reach 80 feet, it tells you, oh, you have reached the maximum level. So that's
okay.
pretty much it already right there. But I mean, it's still you take off, and in my eyes, it's worth it. With
Yeah.
DJI, I see a lot of guys that I know that have DJI drones here in Hawaii. They just can't do it. It's like they just can't. They cannot take off. It
Yeah.
just wouldn't let them.
Yeah. I don't want to spend a lot of money on a drone and not have it do what I want to do. I would get rid of it as soon as that happened. If I took off from the middle of the desert, and where I fly, and it told me that it was restricted, I literally we had flight restrictions around here because of fire. Okay. So we had a light blue and a blue restricted area in this, and then it said, hey, that there could be low flying aircraft, but we didn't have any fires active. So they did that for a while because of helicopters and airdrop aircraft that were around. But when that's going on, we got active fires. I don't even fly because of that exact reason. I don't want to play with that. I can go away from it. I can go to the opposite direction, away from the mountain where all the pine trees are and where the forest fires are. But there's a lot of aircraft activity, and I do appreciate the ADS, the the location, but they've got plenty of apps that show you that. I know there's a plane at 35,000 feet above me, using other apps. So it says DJ is like having a rock with geofencing. Yeah, a lot of people are thinking this way. You got to understand, DJI is slowing their drones down. They put out a gimbal just recently, and freaking. They put out the fourth version of a freaking gimbal. You know, I was mad when that came out because I wanted to see a Osmo Pocket 2. I literally do. I'm excited for an Osmo Pocket 2. I love that thing. I love my Osmo Pocket.
So somebody said you can hack the geofencing on DJI and check out accelerated
Accelerated
heights.
heights. Yeah, they use the no limit, no flight, no limits
Yeah.
software.
Now that is not going to happen, my friend, because the only video that is going to come up is going to be she will not take off here. Next.
I like Autel. I've been wishing for Autel to come out with a smaller drone.
Yeah, me
come out.
too. Like
Yeah,
a more
yeah,
like a consumer drone, like the
yeah.
Anafi size or the
Yeah.
mini size,
Why
whatever.
not? I'd
They
buy
have
it.
the power to do so. I mean, they have the production, they have the quality to do
I'll
so.
be the first one to buy it. I'll be the
I
first one. I'll be in line. I'll pre-order it. I'll just tell
yeah,
you right now, if they put out a $1,000 drone or a sub $1,000 drone, or maybe get into that area of the 699 region. I don't know.
yeah,
Um, I would buy that GPS drone if it had if it had a 4K camera, and
yep.
they could put that. They probably, I don't know if they could mount that 8K on there, but
8K in my eyes was a sales gimmick on the
right,
Autel Evo 2. It was a sales gimmick. It was something that people
right.
see. Oh, 8K, 8K. Yeah, great. Yeah, you have 8K, but do you have the computer to actually render it? So you know what I
No,
mean. So
but it's absolutely amazing 4K video.
yeah,
I went to my buddy's house. He's got a big theater in his basement, massive theater screen. Okay, couple 100 feet. I mean, it's big. It's a freaking huge screen. And I put that video up that I did with the 8K drone. I put a couple of them up, and and he put it in 4K up on that in that CinemaScope. Oh my lord, did that look pretty? I mean, you really appreciate the value of the video when you see it in a large framed, and I couldn't believe that I took the video. I was like, I can't believe I took it. Looked like freaking Steven Spielberg's. I didn't do crap except fly the drone and turn the camera on. I didn't, and it was an auto capture. And that's, to me, is what's amazing about that Evo. And I knew they were going to fix the flight characteristics of it, make it make it a little smoother, because it would tend it to really kind of park and jerk a little bit. But I knew they would fix that, and a good drone pilot can, slowly speed up and slowly, get, because they wanted it to stop and be very active. And the only thing I was disappointed with was the active track. I really
mm,
thought that was kind of a, not
yeah.
very. It doesn't have very much range to it, and if you don't have any range on your active track, it's pretty much worthless. I'm basically sitting on top of my truck as I'm driving with the active track on. I mean, I got the whole film in there, but it's like a close up instead of I can't get I could get the range shots, but I would lose my tracking after a certain amount of distance. I would be in like tripod mode where it would keep it, and then bang, it would lose it. But
The one thing I
it's
never understood was why, with the tracking, why they never made it that it actually tracks to the controller. Because if you
right.
stay with the remote controller and you are there, that would be perfect.
How hard
Because
would it be?
I mean, it's just like with the beacon and the, what is that, the Skydio 2? It's
Yeah,
the same thing. You know what I mean? So why? Because you can set your GPS location for return home to your controller. So how
right.
come you cannot have your drone track you on
Track
your?
you. Right, exactly. Yeah,
So
I
we
mean,
have Ilfatic asking, do you guys think more companies will come out with drones like the Mini
yeah,
under 250
yeah.
grams?
I think it reduces risk. I think it did. I think they did that for a reason. They got the 250-gram number for a reason. I knew that they knew that technologically they were going. Guys, you ever seen the Dragonfly? You ever seen the videos of that military drone, the Dragonfly?
No, I
It's
haven't.
it's it's this big. It's like a little tiny. It's a fixed here. I mean, it's about I'd say 6 inches long, and it's probably about an inch and a half wide, and it's a mini helicopter. It's dual wing. It has a a helicopter, and it has a tail rotor. That thing has, I think, a 22-minute flight time. It has a 4K camera on it with, I don't know what the optical zoom is because it's freaking military. They don't give you much for the specs, but soldiers carry two of those. They have a little pack. There's a little screen that pops down. Think about a consumer drone like that. So you're basically standing there. You've got a pack with two drones that are basically stacked top and bottom, and you basically flip open the drones. There's two of them in a little tray, and then the screen pops down, and there you go. You take your drone, put it in the air, push a button, it's flying. 20 minutes. It's amazing.
And
And
nowadays we got to pay $2,000 for it and have batteries that are as big as bricks for have 40 minutes,
well, I'm
or
saying
more
that's
like
all.
35.
Yeah, these companies have got that on the works. I mean, this smaller, more. Think about how cool that would be. How many people would buy that? I got the smallest drone with 20-minute flight time, and well, you're not going to see any drones that are DJI until the ban is lifted off of the DJI drones. But that's another thing you got to worry about is the Chinese drone ban. So that's another thing. When that came up, I'm like, I'm out.
Yep.
Now I've got that back there, but it's not technically under the same watchful eye because the goggles are all they are is visual. They're just a screen. And then the air unit's separate. So you can sell all that crap you want. They're not selling a drone, they're selling parts.
Yep.
And then the drone's coming from, the drone did come from China, but it's a little tiny 250-gram toy.
Well, technically, seen everything these days is from China. It's just assembled in the United States to make it
Right.
made in US.
Yeah.
So like you
Yeah.
can't even get anything these days that is not made out of plastic made in China.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I'm not a, I'm a hobby, I'm a hobbyist. So if I can get my hands on the coolest drone ever, I don't care where it comes from. I
The
think,
one
I
thing
think, yep. Go ahead.
The one thing that Autel needs to work on though is getting a smart controller for the Autel Evo.
Yes.
Definitely, because this controller, I mean, I learned how to love it, I learned how to hate it, and
Right.
it's like a mix in between
The
two.
buttons that the buttons that you hit accidentally all the time.
Well, yeah. So I have this guy contacted me. He has like a mount for this that mounts like different type of mounts on the top for phones, for
Right.
tablets and stuff. The coolest part about that thing is he has like a plate that goes underneath that covers these buttons, and you're still going to be able to
Right.
push the buttons, but you're going to be able to put the controller straight down on the ground without touching
Yeah.
these buttons. And it has
Why they
also
do that?
like a plate in between here that holds these flimsy arms
Right.
apart from each other and gives it a little bit more weight. I like
Right.
when it's a little bit more heavier, so you have
Right.
something in your hands. Uh, I don't know. Sometimes when I fly with this thing, it feels like I'm playing around with a toy. But looking at this thing up in the air, it's like this
Right.
thing controls that, and I'm
Yeah.
like
I
really
don't have any
scared about
problem
it.
with the I don't have any problem with the controller design. I like it. But like you're saying, it's not the ergonomics is a little off, and that's why when the Mavic Air 2 came out with a little bit wider, it's a little bit wider. They don't have a screen in theirs, but and then I like the pop up antenna. That's a nice thing. That's also the integrated and phone holder when it holds it nice and snug. And yeah, I think to redesign a controller for Autel is not a big deal. I mean, they put zero effort into designing the controller since the first model,
Yeah.
and if they put just a little bit of effort and do a small, I wouldn't even change the electronics in it. I'm not unhappy. I like the screen; it's beautiful and bright. Um, it's you can even use the FPV on it if you really need to in a pinch. I mean, it's not bad. I actually flew just like that for fun when I was testing out my Air 2 and my Evo 2 at the same time. I only had a phone in one of them, and then I just left the Autel Evo. I'm like, well, crap, I'm just going to leave the controller bare and just fly it that way, and it worked just fine.
All right, we get hot rod today. Oh yeah, there's a life function. Did we lose you, Dad, Random? I think we lost him. He might have dropped out. So yeah, the question was pretty much there's a live function that is on the app for the Autel Evo, and I was not able to actually um, call them today because I was working on the mission video. But I definitely gonna call you guys. I mean, gonna call those guys tomorrow, and then I will try to set up the live feed with it, and try to do a live feed of flying the drone itself. So I hope that works out. Yeah, that random. I think we just lost him. So I hope if he's gonna jump back in, he'll jump back in. If not, definitely thanks for him swinging by at a itsy bitsy tiny channel like mine. But yeah, I mean, we are in here already for like what, almost an hour. If you guys have any other questions about the Alter Evo, just drop them straight inside there right now. I'm gonna try answer whatever question you guys can come up with. The tips and tricks pretty much explain it all. Do your pre-flight checks. Do your uh, whatever you have to set up prior to it. Plan your flights carefully and be safe out there when you guys fly. Don't get into trouble because with you guys getting into trouble, other people will have to bleed for it. So Hot Rod just said also, guys, look at B&H. They have a bunch of freewheel lenses coming for the Evo 2. Yes, he sent a great amount of links the other day in the comment section, and in there itself, there were quite a few filters in there that I was like, huh? what is that all for? And they're pretty cheap too. They're like $20 a pop. And so if you're only out to select like single single filters itself instead of having the whole set, like this whole kit for $130, and you only want to spend like $30 for the ND8 or the ND16, then you might as well just go for that. There's also $20 filters on Amazon that I've seen the other day. So yes, my emission video should be up actually. I had Ricky Britton because I posted it at the same time it went live as iWingo on my live stream. So both videos went up at the same time. Also, I have reached 3,000 watch hours, so monetization is right around the corner. It's not too far away. So I hope you guys gonna be all right with that. Monetization is just gonna add on some commercials within my videos and stuff, and I hope it's okay with you guys because uh, it will definitely help me make better videos for you guys. So let's see. That random just Houston, we have a problem. So yeah, that random has an issue with his live stream at this point. Let's see what else questions we have in here. What mode do you normally fly with your Evo? With my regular mode the mode that I usually use the most actually in here is precision flight. I do a lot of precision flight. I turn off the obstacle avoidance. I keep line of sight, plan my shots ahead, and then I'll just try and refly 3 to 4 times. I like the smart orbit. I really used it the other day for a video shoot that I had with a client, and it worked out great because it was really nice to have just, oh, can you go spin around this? So instead of me sitting there and trying to control it for spin around, oh yeah, sure. What do you want? And then just had it set up, and I just drew the square, let it go. But the bad part is I was recording, and the first rotation around, I realized that the record button turned off. So, and the record button was gone. Hey, there he is. He's back. So yeah, so the record button turned off with the smart orbit, and with the smart orbit, that was the biggest issue. That it turns off the recording, so you have to literally make sure that you turn on recording every single time. So, but that's pretty much the mode that I'm mostly in. It's the precision flight and it's the smart orbit that I really like.
Ken Harden stream must have just came on. It exploded the internet, huh?
Well, Ken Harren's stream has been on since 2 o'clock. I mean, since 2 o'clock my time. It always came on at the same time. I have one more stream next week at the same time. After that, I'm going to be switching over to Sundays, and I'm going to have Sundays starting Sunday, September 13th.
I like to get on Sundays. I did Sunday streams for a while.
Yeah.
Did Sunday afternoons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Early, like 2,
I have
3.
so much seniority. Gotta have the keys, brother. Have a great evening. All right, Flight Path, you take it easy. You guys, if you guys haven't done so, please check out Flight Path's channel. It's really
appreciate
really
your
good.
Flight Path. Appreciate your channel. We do.
So what else do we have? Thanks for putting together. Enjoyed it. Gotta run for now. Okay, take it easy, Tech. What do we have here? What do you guys edit on, and what programs? Well, I edit on my computer. Like pretty much everything goes on my computer. For clients, when I go for client work, I have my laptop that I'm filming on right now. That is a live stream. I have also an HD camera coming, and I'm planning on actually subscribing to StreamYard to have 1080p streaming, so the streams will get better, and I won't have that logo up there on the top left that says powered by StreamYard. It will have the 808 State logo. So I really like StreamYard. StreamYard is really good. But so yeah, I edit on my PC, and I use DaVinci Resolve. It was really good because DaVinci Resolve has a lot of options. It's just like Final Cut Pro and Adobe Premiere, except for you don't have those monthly subscriptions. That's what I didn't like. And at first, when I started getting into it, I used to use Sony Vegas, and then I ended up using DaVinci Resolve, the free version. And 2 months later, I just put the money out and I bought the standalone version. So, what are you editing on?
I basically I broadcast using OBS, and let me see. I'm trying to see if I can go virtual cam on it. I think I have to start it first. I don't think I can do that because I can switch over and go through my OBS and then bring the camera into StreamYards. But when I edit, I use the simplest I do pay a subscription, but I pay for simplicity. I use something called Video. It's like a educational software. It's very simple. You can do all kinds of just simple edits. If I need to do something like really like creative and different, um, I have access to Adobe Premiere, but I don't really use that. I use some of the other apps in there. Actually, my favorite is Adobe Spark Post. I use this app for everything. It's probably the easiest thing to make any kind of quick thumbnails. But I edit on something. I edit on Video. You can check it out. It's very simple. Some people, when they get on programs like that, they go, well, I can't use this. This is just way too elementary, But to me, simple is time. And I've used more time consuming, like the Da Vinci. Even it's the same thing. They all work the same way. But it just to do something simple like moves, like animate something, it just takes so much. It takes so many steps, and I guess if you get used to it, so I'm limited to the funny things I can do, real creative things I can do. But that's kind of the benefit of what you have versus what I use. But
yeah, I didn't know much about DaVinci. I followed a lot of tutorials in order to get used to using DaVinci because DaVinci is more in depth and detail
right,
in comparison to Sony Vegas. Sony Vegas, you just slap the things inside there. You can create multiple video, audio tracks, whatever, and then you overlay them. But it was way easier, but it didn't have like those special effects and the color grading really in depth. And
right,
DaVinci Resolve was supposed to be really good on color grading. Problem is, I don't know how to color grade. I shoot all my footage just the right out of the box, the way I think it looks the best on my screen, and I go from there. I once in a while, if anything, I adjust maybe a little bit on the contrast, and that's it. From there on out, I film everything else. My head talk videos and stuff, I all film with my A6400, and I don't know. I cannot color grade for a hell of it. I just
yeah.
can't.
Yeah, I just got an inexpensive webcam that I use. I'm finding that it's just nice to go to my phone. I can go outside and
Your streams look great on the phone, man.
it's nice. You can't do anything. I mean, you have to have a computer, otherwise you can't really read your chat stream. I mean, you can. I mean, I'd be constantly tapping the screen to reread people's stuff. But it's so simple. I can jump out of my car from when I get home from work and go and chill out, grab a brew and sit down with my phone, and it's nice and easy. To me, it's
Oh.
I think that having it easy is nice. But when I go out and do a video, Osmo Pocket, and I bring it into Video, and I record my sound separate when I'm really gonna when I know I got excuse me when I need good audio. I go and I use a Sony recorder with a lapel mic. I haven't done that in a while. I've been really lazy.
So, what are your thoughts, 808 and Dad Random, on night flying, and will you ever do any night flying? I did a night flying tutorial, not tutorial, like a night flying video with the Evo 2. I'm not a huge fan of the night flying, simply because, first of all, you don't really see if there's any power lines, if there's anything in the way. The camera itself, like the Evo has issues because it's a lot of the sensors, even though you turn them off, they're still functional. So sometimes she just doesn't want to respond the right way. I hope they're going to fix that in the future, but I'm not a huge fan of night flying unless it would be like a metropolitan city where there's a lot of
Right.
lights, like Vegas and all that. Then I probably would use it there if I could fly there. I would have to check out first if permission is there, but that's
Yeah,
pretty much it for me.
when I fly at night here, there's nothing to see. It's dark. You just- and you can go. I have a grocery store that's a couple of blocks away. You can see the flag. That's
Yeah.
about it. I can fly around the parking lot, but I mean, I live where there's canyons and stuff, so there's really nothing to see. I like it. I like to watch FPV videos though that are done in really large parking lots. I think that's cool. Where I've watched like drone worship and people fly around. They fly around the light poles and things like that.
Yeah, I've seen
But
that too. I
we have
watched
a
that video.
mall. We have a mall where I could do that. I'm thinking about doing that as soon as I get airworthy.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard when you crash.
Michael Ara said, I went up my roof, 4-story up, wind was about 15 to 20 miles per hour, and the Evo 2 Pro was like
Oh
a
yeah.
rock not moving from the spot. It was left in love, the quality, Yeah, so with that being said, though, I flew the drone the other day. It was like 37 miles per hour, and wind was pushing this way, and my arm actually folded inwards this
Oh
way, and she
wow.
started coming down. And when she came sideways, these propellers, I don't, you're not going to be able to see it, but these propellers actually touch when she's spinning. They touch, and they left
Wow.
a nasty mark on top of my drone, but the arm folded back out. So be careful about that, guys.
Whoa.
The arm does flip in, and
That's
I
not
was
good.
surprised that she didn't eat it. I thought at that time my heart dropped, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's it. I'm gonna be divorced. I'm gonna be homeless. I'm gonna be sleeping on a couch for the rest of my life. And
Yeah,
yeah,
but
she caught herself somehow in it. But I have the marks on the on the drone itself to prove it, and
that's
that was
scary.
scary.
And you don't want to hear those kinds of stories. I when I first got my drone, my Evo, when I folded it out, I thought it was pretty pretty stout and everything as far as the the wings folded out. But I did hear comments from other people before I got it that they were thinking, oh wow, this is a little less snappy than say Mavics and stuff like that. But I don't know why, if it's because of the weight or the way they designed it, but I'm almost sure that all those factors are definitely on the drawing board. And when they redesign,
Yeah.
it's a simple fix. I mean, it's as simple as adding
The one
a
thing that I
tab or
realized with my Autel is when you leave it hovering like this, and then you go and you just touch slightly over here, you're gonna feel a lot of vibration in here. And I think this longer arm, because the way they designed it to put the arms up higher, with this longer arm down here, gives it a little bit more force on top of the arm going back and forth. So that might have been one of the reasons when it was really hot that the glue separated on my part
yeah,
by the motor side, and it just gave it too much swing. So that's another thing that I think is kind of a design flaw on the Autel Evo 2. And also these arms, they just way too easy to just flap in like this. There's
yeah.
too much room. They should just clip in place and then done with
And
it.
if you think about the forces on it, in a
Yeah,
really heavy wind, because it's fighting hard to keep, to keep forward, and I'm sure it's a matter of the direction that you've got the drone too.
yeah, yeah,
But that's, forward, that thing should be steady as a rock, meaning that those arms should lock out nice
yeah.
and solid.
So
And that,
I would appreciate a locking mechanism in there. It would be
yeah,
great. So
yeah. I don't want to dissuade anybody from owning it, because if you fly it in the right conditions, at the right in the right opportunity, actually
yeah.
looking at a photograph on the computer that's next to me here. It's a giant photograph of an area that I wish I could pick up my monitor here and show you. It's just beautiful. It's an Evo shot. Here we go. Here.
All righty.
That's an Evo.
Oh,
That's an Evo photograph right there.
damn, that
Yeah,
looks nice.
you can't fly there. It's a park.
Wow.
All right. Shh. All right.
So what else do we have
There's no
here?
videos on that. I have a lot of
Does any drone have audio capabilities? I would love to record a fireworks show, but worried if they do have the sound of the propellers would kill any other sound. The one way I get around that stuff is if I'm close enough to the event or whatever it is, I usually carry an audio recorder with me. If you know somebody in the event of that stuff and you know where they're going to be popping the fireworks and you know there's a quiet area at it, you might be able to set up that audio somewhere over there and then just sync it afterwards when you fly, because I don't think any drone will ever have any audio
Yeah, you
recording
don't
because
need
of the
to.
propeller and the propeller sound and stuff and the wind noise. But if you have an audio recorder, an external audio recorder, just place it somewhere where it's safe, where it doesn't get lost, or where you can return afterwards and pick it up, where not that many people was talking or whatever, in a remote area or somewhere on top of the roof or a balcony where in that area nobody's grabbing it, so you can record that. Another part is you don't have to have exact um, because usually drone videos are underlined with music, so you don't necessarily have to have audio that is matching with with the visual. You can just download sound
There you
effects that
go.
have fireworks, put it in the background of the music, and it's still going to give the impression to the viewer
I do that all the
visually that
time.
you're
Yeah.
watching it. Yeah, me too. And my last one
Yeah.
with the best shots of August, I recorded the river that I was at. I
Yeah.
recorded the waterfall that I was there, and I just put it in the background to underline it
Yeah.
together with the music, so
Nobody
that it
knows.
makes the
And
impression.
that's the question I get all the time with my waterfall videos. Like, how'd you record the sound? I'm like, it's just sound I found I found a free. Actually, it's free sound effects or something. It was actually free recordings. I went through about, I don't know, about 30 different recordings, and I found one that was looped. And there was a big waterfall, and then there was a stream, and then there was a like a smaller waterfall, because a bigger waterfall has a deeper sound, and then with the smaller ones, you wanted a louder, more tinny. So you just post produce that. Just bring in your sounds. It's so cool when you do it
Yeah.
that way. Anyway, the sounds are perfect. So
Yeah, Rocco Giamani just said the same thing right over here, and I don't know if you guys haven't done so. Rocco Giamani has a very nice channel as well, and he has some really good videos in there. So I really like his channel. I watch his videos all the time. So
let me see if I can get that.
I'm gonna post a link of his channel in the chat, so you guys can go check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually put it up there. I don't know if anybody that does cool stuff, man. I jump right on your channel, man. I'm like, ah! I'm always looking for somebody that's taking it to the next level, or it's it's kind of like my biggest appeal to it, like a site like a Ken Heron has no. I don't like his live streams at all. It's just not what I like to do. But it's not that I don't think they're good. I'm just not interested in that. But I love his produced stuff, because he's very creative, and that's what I like. I like his and that's why I like your channel. It's the same thing. You put a little time into 3 or 4 minutes of your production. It's as simple as when your intro. When you use your artificial intelligence, that is so unique, and nobody else does it. And people are always asking, how do you get your AI? I don't even want to know, because it's your channel, and that's what you're known for. But
Yeah,
I like
a lot of people ask me about it, and all I can tell them is like, it's
don't
just
tell
part
them.
of the channel, guys.
It's your thing, man. It's your mojo. You can't give away your mojo.
I watch a lot of channels out there. I watch a lot of guys that have Autels. I watch a lot of reviews, tutorials, Flight Pass, Rocco Money. I watch a lot of your stuff, and as much as I upload stuff and as much as I work and do stuff with my family, I'm also watching other people's stuff. And Hot Rod has some really good short clips too. Hot Rod Daytona, with beautiful footage. And that's how you learn. That's how you move up yourself. So that would be another tip and trick in the whole drone world. If you go make yourself uh known with other people, know where their channels are at, go on there, subscribe to them, hit the bell on that one, so when they come up with new stuff and movements and camera movements that they use. Just keep practicing those to get the same shots, the same result, and hey, before you know it, you're going to be just up there doing your thing, and we're like, oh, how did he do that?
Yeah, and you want to do your own thing. You don't want to. Everybody. Yeah, we all are guilty of doing something that somebody else has done. I mean, if you tell me you've never copied some aspect of somebody else's video, you're pretty much telling a mistruth.
Yeah.
But you get so much more mileage from your own stuff. So I just look at reactions. If somebody reacts to like me crashing my drone and they like me to go hike for it, I don't mind hiking for my drones. I don't like breaking them. So every time I made a hike, or I've had that kind of experience, people like that. But I don't go looking. I don't try to recreate those. For fun's sake, even though they're fun. Producing.
Yeah.
I always have people ask me, "Yeah, why don't you go crash your drone somewhere?" And I'm like, because it's a long walk. Okay.
Yeah.
And
So Michael Ara said you can have someone make a piece of plastic going from one arm to the another, stopping the arms from coming in high winds. Okay. Yes, I actually was talking to somebody the same person that actually is making the new mounts for this tablet and phone mounts. I asked him about it, and I actually threw that idea at him. And the only thing that you have to worry about is the additional weight that you put on, as much more stuff you put on. So you're going to have more wind resistance, you're going to have more weight, and all those things can play a factor in it. So got to be careful about that. So,
hey, somebody's dog.
Yeah, it's my dog. My dog keeps going crazy over there.
That one of your smart dogs?
Yeah, one of my not so smart dogs. That's the ones that bite everybody. Prop guards from Autel, I think, actually clip in locking the arms, but it would also add more weight to the drone and reduce flight times? Yes, it does. They're not that heavy, but they have more wind resistance, so you're actually using more stuff. And I mean, the calculation seems to be kind of off anyways on that whole Autel stuff, because sometimes I go up and I fly with the wind, and it tells me that I have 17 minutes, and I fly against the wind, and it tells me I have 22 minutes. So it's a little bit off. So I don't understand. I think we lost that random again. Yes, it looks like that. I do not know if he builds his own drones, but if he does come back, we're gonna ask him again. So then, yeah, it is critical to build your own identity on YouTube, but I'm very guilty of copying people such as Aiden Robbins. Lots of inspiration comes from him. That's what we do whenever we do stuff. I mean, I was not even into the drone business when I first started my YouTube channel. I was more like just filming whatever all day life. And then Autel 2 came into my life, and boom, that's when I started doing it. And I really like doing drone stuff, drone related things. And I really like uh, relaying all my experiences to you guys and learning from you guys as well. I learned a lot. Hot Rod taught me a lot of things. Ricky Britton showed me a lot of things, or gave me ideas. So communicating with all you guys being in here all the time is what actually makes a good channel, because it's the communication. When you look at my comment section, I try to answer to pretty much all the comments that are in there, good or bad. I had my first fat boy comment the other day on one of my motorcycle helmet videos, and like I said, it's there's so much more to YouTube. And I mean, I just like that I can actually tell people what I experienced with it, just to help them out. It's pretty much like a parent. So but yeah, so we lost that random, and we are live for a long time already. I think we are 1 hour 21 minutes. That's a long. That's the longest stream I've ever had. So I would say I'll cut it here. And that random came back.
Hi,
Let's
here.
get him
Yeah,
real
I
quick.
can say goodbye. Sorry about that.
No, 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 all
I
good
was
right
messing
here.
around. And that
So
was
he
an
came back in.
accident right there. I know you
So
sounds like you're trying to get off here. So
yeah, it's an hour 22 minutes already. So
oh, come on, you got more than that. Let's go.
all right, let's go.
I'm
What
just
else do
kidding.
we have? What else do we
I
have?
got to go to the grocery store. My wife wants me to go get strawberries, so I better go get that done.
Yeah, it's my wife is almost finished work, so I gotta start cooking dinner. So I
All
appreciate
right.
all of you guys coming by. I appreciate you, Dad Random, for swinging by so short
What are you
notice,
gonna make for
just
dinner? Real
dropping
quick?
in. I'm not quite
I'm
sure
turning
yet.
the host around here.
She's very picky. She's very, very picky. So it might be pork and watercress, or it might be
Ooh,
something else. I don't know. We'll
oh,
see.
that sounds good. I'm just curious about what you got in there. All right.
Yeah,
I
I,
had,
I, I might
I,
I might even make some Kalua pig or something. Do you
oh,
ever eat
stop
Kalua
that.
pig?
Yeah, stop that. We have a couple of different restaurants um, that are either we got one that's Hawaiian and we have one that's they're Polynesian style, and they do the real stuff like poo poo chicken. You ever had that before?
Ooh, yeah, poopy
That's
chicken.
so fattening. Oh my lord, it's like all sugar and
What
like
you did?
yes, exactly. But it's so good and addictive, and it's
Yeah,
exactly what that's my son's. Anyway, I'll tell you that story some other time because I'm a football coach, so we have a lot of Polynesian families around. But yeah, poo poo chicken. It does exactly what its name is.
pretty much. Yeah,
You got to find a
definitely,
bathroom
definitely.
quick. All right.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
But thank
everybody's
you.
saying aloha, and everybody's saying thank you so much. I thank you guys. So we thanking all of you guys that always watch us and doing ramble around and talking about drones and stuff. It's just like I said, Dad Random, me, we all of us, Flight Path, Rocco Giamani, we all try to do the same thing, to just relay information to you guys and just having fun. That's pretty much what it is. So I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate you, Dad Random, and then
Thank
stay in
you.
touch.
Appreciate you
Okay.
bringing me on.
All right, you guys, take it easy. Aloha, everybody.